Hey, I'm Chris Zepp from Make Everything, and today I'm going to give you 5 tips for a safer shop. Check it out. Alright, now all the information I'm going to give you in my mind is important, but the number one thing for me in a shop setting is eye protection. Eye protection is so critical anytime you're working in a shop space. Even if you're just visiting someone else's shop space, you should always have a clear pair of safety glasses. I have a bunch of different varieties. They're super inexpensive. You can buy a 6-pack on Amazon for a little more than $1 a pair. And the key for me with eye protection is abundance. I want to have eye protection all over the shop. I have drawers that are labeled safety glasses. I have them hanging all over the shop so that at any point, if you're about to do something and you don't have safety glasses on, they're within reach. Having one really nice pair of safety glasses is great, but if it's on the other side of the room and you just got to make this one cut at the end of the day, it could jeopardize the safety of your eyes. Eye damage is really detrimental to your life in the shop and outside the shop. Getting something drilled out of your eye is really expensive too, so just the $1 or $2 it costs to buy an extra pair is absolutely worth it. You will save yourself in the long run. Face shields are great. They protect your whole face. I have a bunch of different varieties. You'll also notice anytime I'm welding in any of my welding videos, I always have a pair of safety glasses on underneath my welding hood. That's also really important with sparks from MIG welding or anything getting up into below your welding hood and getting to your eyes. If you're looking for something that you can weld and grind with, you can get masks that flip up. This is a mask from Lincoln Electric called the FGS series. This thing has an auto darkening lens on the front with some pre-darkened side lights, and it flips up for a grinding shield that's clear. This thing is awesome, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of welding and a lot of grinding sort of back to back. And also, if you're going to be doing a lot of grinding and you want to protect your eyes and your lungs, you can get something like this. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this mask in particular later. Safety glasses. Get them, get a lot of them, always wear them. All right, number 2 is hearing protection. Now, if you watch my videos, you notice I very often have headphones in. These are noise-canceling headphones that are rated for use in a shop. And I also have many, many pairs of ear muffs like this. Again, these are pretty inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon or Harbor Freight. They make different kinds. They make kinds that fold up. They make kinds that you can listen to music on, and just regular old, ear muffs over the ears like that. You do not want to damage your hearing with laziness of not wearing hearing protection. I have pretty bad hearing loss in my right ear moving to my left ear. I have really, really annoying tinnitus from just a lifetime of working outside on job sites and in shops. And let me tell you, if I had just worn hearing protection for a little bit more time in my life, maybe I wouldn't be dealing with these problems. So you definitely want to protect your ears. And a good tip with hearing protection is if you have a particularly loud tool, say like my metal cutting chop saw, or even some of my band saws are pretty loud when you cut with them, I just keep a pair of ear muffs right there, and they always stay near that tool. For the $3 or $4 it costs to buy an extra set of ear muffs and put them with that tool, it's absolutely worth it in the long run. You don't want to wind up being one of those guys that goes, huh? All the time. I'm that guy. It sucks. So hearing protection, very important, second only to eye protection. All right, number 3, respiratory protection, protecting your lungs from the particles in the air when you're working in the shop. Now, there are a bunch of different types of masks out there. There are cotton masks, there are these sort of synthetic masks, and there are just the paper masks you can get like at the hardware store. Personally, I think that if you're gonna spend money on respiratory equipment, you might as well buy a real respirator. You're not gonna get matched respiratory protection from anything below this that is as good as a real respirator with a rubber seal. There are now some advanced respirators that use a powered filter on the back. Those are awesome. They are a little more expensive. You have to charge the batteries and stuff, but if you have the money, I absolutely recommend you invest in them. My favorite mask is this flip down mask from 3M. I wear it all the time, and the reason that I like it is because it has a latch right here. which allows you to pull the mask off your face without having to actually take it off and have it hang upside down like this. I just found that it stays out of the way, and the easier a mask is to wear, the more likely you are to wear it. Again, abundance is important with these things. They're not expensive. They're, I think, $17 or $18 without the filters, so there's no reason why you can't have 2 or 3 of them. You're trying to protect your lungs. You don't want to breathe a lot of the stuff that you're going to deal with in the shop. I also like to use this full face mask. This is a kind of knockoff of a full face mask that you'd normally buy from a company like 3M. This was inexpensive. It was maybe like 30 or 40 bucks on Amazon, but I use this for grinding a lot. I has the exact same bayonet style mount that you use 3M filters on, even though it is an aftermarket mask in itself. Now, with some talk about filters, a lot of people use the triangular filters that come with these masks. Those are organic vapor filters. They are great, they are going to protect you, but they're heavy, and chances are if you're doing woodworking or metalworking, you don't need that type of filtration. So I like to use what's called an advanced particulate filter. It's a P100. This filters out nearly 100% of airborne particles, but I don't use the regular pink filters. If you have noticed on masks like this, the pink filters are what's a 2091. That's the model number from 3M. Those filters are great, but they are a high level filter. They have many layers of filters inside that cartridge. 3M makes what's called an advanced particulate filter, and that is a filter that filters the exact same level of particle, but with a lot less actual pieces inside the filter. So when you wear something like this for 10 to 12 hours a day, you're not going to feel the same fatigue that you would from a 2091. The number on these is 2291. I'll put links in the description where you can get these on Amazon. They are a couple dollars more, but I'm telling you, if you wear your respirator a lot, you will immediately notice the difference in breathing through these. Now, this is personal respiratory health, and we can talk about shop respiratory health as well. So there are many ways to filter the air in your shop. There are shop air cleaners that you can buy from, like a woodworking store. There are dust collectors, vacuums, all that sort of stuff. This video is sponsored by EnviroKlenz. EnviroKlenz makes a shop and home air cleaner, an air filtration unit like this. This thing is unbelievable. It filters down to a level that is way finer than a normal woodworking air cleaner. It uses a 2-filter system. You've got an activated filter, a pre-filter here, and then a secondary filter that is super thick and really gets all the particles in the air. It filters down to the micron level, and the micron level particles are the ones that can do damage inside your body. EnviroKlenz sells these with filter packs, and there'll be some links down in the descriptions where you can learn about products like this. Super quiet, and what's also nice about this unit in particular is that it moves a good amount of air. So when I'm in the shop on a super hot day, I like to keep the air moving around the shop. So by using this on high, it's also helping circulate that air so it's not just sitting all in one place. I've noticed a big difference in my metal shop while using this. You don't have that same metal shop smell after like a long day of grinding. So definitely check out the EnviroKlenz, and thank you EnviroKlenz for sponsoring this video. All right, number 4 is emergency preparedness in the shop. So aside from protecting your eyes, your ears, your lungs, you need to be ready in case of an emergency. Around my shop, I have first aid kits, I have emergency supplies, tourniquets, all that stuff ready for an incident. Now, just recently, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I burned my hand really severely at someone else's shop, and I was really lucky. The guy there, Matt, had a first aid kit right away. Before I could even get my thoughts together, I had my hand in a bucket of ice water, and he had a first aid kit ready to go. You need to have that in your shop at all times. The other thing that I cannot stress enough, I tell people this all the time, I work in my shop alone most of the time, and what I always have on me is my phone. I absolutely always have my cell phone on my person at all times, and the reason is not so that I can get my most recent notification. The reason is that if there is an emergency, I need to be able to call 911 and not have to think, where's my phone? Is it plugged in over there? Is it over on the shelf? Where did I leave it? Especially if you work in a shop alone, leave your door unlocked just in case you need to push your way out and get out to the street or a public place. Keep your phone on you. If you're building is attached to your house, maybe keep a phone or intercom that'll get you back to your house. You want to be able to get in touch with emergency personnel. I have an alarm system that is linked to Central Station, and it has a panic button. So if I do get in an emergency, I can push the panic button and the police will be notified, and they know exactly where I am. They'll know to come and get me. You absolutely have to be prepared for an emergency. Alex Steele did a great video series about injuries and emergencies in the shop, and you should check that out. There'll be a link down in the description below. All right, number 5, fire safety. Fire safety is incredibly important in a shop, and the reason being is that fires can start at an instant, even when you're not here. A fire that starts when you're in the shop is probably the best case scenario. I've had a couple of small fires here and we were able to extinguish them right away, but I do worry about, a spark landing somewhere and maybe starting a fire overnight. I have over 20 fire extinguishers in this shop alone. It's about 3,000 square feet. They are on every wall. They have big signs to them, and I have different types of fire extinguishers too. I personally work with titanium and magnesium sometimes, so I have what is called a Class D fire extinguisher. They're yellow normally. They're expensive. They're between $400 and $600 each, but if you start a titanium fire, it will not be able to be put out with anything that you have on hand. If you look up titanium factory fires, you'll find that fire departments usually just contain them, and they actually just let the whole building burn down and burn itself out. Titanium and magnesium burn incredibly hot, and you need a special type of dry powder to put them out. So I have 2 Class D fire extinguishers where I do my titanium work on the grinder and on the milling machine. These are ready to go. Aside from that, I have some small fire extinguishers, big fire extinguishers, all over the place. The other critical part to fire safety is having a proper fire alarm system. I have an alarm system that's tied to Central Station with smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in it, which means at 2 a.m., if something were to light on fire, the alarms aren't just gonna ring and ring and ring and no one's gonna hear them and my building's gonna burn down. Regular smoke detectors are great as a backup. You are not living in your shop, I don't think. In your house, they're great. They'll wake you up in the middle of the night. But if those alarms are going off and nobody's there to hear them, what good are they? You want a system that's going to get help and emergency responders at your building right away. There are a bunch of systems you can buy, stuff that'll text you in the case of a fire if you don't have Central Station. So look into that. You absolutely want to have a way to stop a fire if you have one, and a way to know about a fire if one happens when you're not here. Something else that I discovered not that long ago for guys that run a lot of CNC is, I believe it's called a watchdog. It looks like a little fire extinguisher ball, and it has a sprinkler head on it, and you hang it over an individual machine, and if that machine catches fire, you have a single head, single-use sprinkler system to hang over it. I've seen guys with CNC machines who have walked away from them and then they've had a bit crash into the metal bed, catch the wood on fire, and the machine will melt. I'll put a link down in the description where you can check those out. I don't personally have one, but I think for anyone that's going to run a CNC machine when they're not just watching it, they should absolutely look into it. All right, that about does it for this video. I hope these 5 tips were helpful. Safety in my shop is the #1 priority. I make sure that I go over with everybody that walks in the door, and I try to practice it myself. I know I'm not perfect, nobody is. I'm sure if you've watched my videos, you've seen clips of me cutting without safety glasses on, or hearing protection, or respiratory protection, but I want to share the awareness and let people know that there is a right way to do it. You need to protect your eyes, ears, lungs. You need to protect your shop from fire, and you need to be ready in the case of an emergency. Thank you, EnviroKlenz, for sponsoring this video. You should absolutely check them out. There'll be some links down in the description. All the other stuff I mentioned, I'm not sponsored by 3M. I just happen to really like their product. You can check out links to a lot of the stuff that I talked about down in the description, where you can buy this stuff on Amazon. Like I said, abundance is key. You got to have a lot of safety glasses, a lot of earplugs around, a couple of respirators. Just be ready to protect yourself at all times. First aid kits, fire extinguishers, stuff like that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like it, give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this and actual work in the shop. If you want to see what I'm doing behind the scenes, follow me on Instagram right here at MakeEverythingShop. I post every day. I share a lot of behind the scenes stuff, show sort of what I'm up to on a daily basis, and answer a lot of questions there. So again, I'm Chris Zepp. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.